Hello everybody, welcome back to another tier list video. Welcome to my tier list of The Sims 2 expansion packs. Let's get into it. So when I was making up this list, I completely forgot that The Sims 2 University was the first expansion pack for The Sims 2. What? That's crazy, that like blows my mind, but when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, because I remember having the different guidebooks. And this is truly amazing expansion pack for The Sims 2. It was the first time our young Sims, or teenage Sims, well, actually, The Sims 2 brought in teenage Sims, because the life states in The Sims 1 was just baby, child, adult. And there was so much fun for this, especially for young Sims in this game. So your teenage Sim could click on a computer and apply to go to university. You had kind of like three options of neighborhood universities to go to, which, like, the cool thing about it was you could pick like the deserty campus to go to if you were in Pleasantview. Like, you could mix and match them, which was number one, first cool feature. Number two is when you actually got there, you didn't have the normal like age up system that was normally in the Sims game. Like, you know, it was like 23 days to age up. It went by your what do you call them? See, I dropped out of college. See, this is why I forget. Semesters, that's the one. It went by your semesters, and you had to get good grades, obviously, to do better. Sometimes it was a little bit hectic for your Sims, but you were building up skills at this age. And you would have been a child and a teenager and toddler, and you can build up skills at these ages. So you could get, like, going to university was like the way to get a perfect Sim. And when your Sim eventually came out of college, they could be like, jump into like level 5 into any job, or well, depending on what they went through in college. It did bring in a few new jobs into the game: artist, paranormal. Geez, I'm actually forgetting those, but it brought in like 5 in total. There was some. Wasn't there a scientist one, natural scientist or something? But it was a huge boost to be an adult, starting off as an adult, and jumping into level 5 as an adult. So you like saves pretty much a lot of time while you're same age and up. There was some cool NPCs in this game. The cheerleaders, the mascots. There was 2 different mascots. The coaches, the streakers, which was a strange one. You could be just chilling in your dorms, and next thing a streaker would pop out. But whatever. The dorms feature was pretty interesting. Because you did really good in your semester, you could get simoleons, and you could buy things for your dorm, or you could put them around the area, the building that you're living in. I didn't really recommend that though. You know, the door with your icon, your Sims icon will go on it. That'd be your room only. Yeah, and there's different activities that you can do with others, like young adult Sims. But I think it was just truly an amazing expansion pack for the game. So I have to put it as one of the best expansion packs for the Sims. The Sims 2 Nightlife. Now, this one was good. This one was very good. As the name entails, it brought in a nightlife system to the game. So, you know, nightclubs and places to go and places to go out in. It brought in a new neighborhood called the downtown area. It was the same downtown area as The Sims 1. Probably. This game is 25 years later after The Sims 1. So maybe. But most importantly, it was kind of like with Hot Date, where it brought in like new interactions and new like relationship systems. This brought in the chemistry system, which I kind of really liked. The turn-ons and turn-off system. And if you had like 2 different Sims who had like, say the female Sim was blonde hair and blue eyes, and the male Sim was black hair, green eyes, and they had them like what they liked and they really liked each other, they'd have a strong chemistry. If they didn't match, it'd be like a really poor chemistry. You could still have a relationship with that Sim, but it would be hard. It brought in like the dating system, which I'm pretty sure was just like, you want to go on the date to this place. And the group system, which I was never really like got into the group system in any Sims games really. I kind of just stick to myself because I'm sad like that. But my favorite feature of this game is owning your own car. You could get your own car in this expansion pack, and obviously this did in later expansion packs. This is what cars got introduced into Sims games, and I truly love just having my own car. I don't know why, because like when you rang up a taxi to go to some place, it was the same thing. You'd hop into your car and still drive off. Like, it's not like you could control the car, but it just looked cool having a big fancy car outside your front house. Or the Sloppy Joe. It was amazing. Personally, for me, it goes. I would put it into the A tier. However, it's going into the S tier, and I will talk about this in the next expansion pack, which is The Sims 2 Open for Business. Now, before I say anything, do you know where this goes? Boom. Right into the best tier. Do you know why? Personally for me, and remember this is my opinions, The Sims 2 Open for Business, I think is the greatest expansion pack ever in a Sims game. And I know like pets is like a staple in Sims games. But I just think The Sims 2 Open for Business, it was just so different and so cool, and just it felt like a normal like Sims game, if you get me, like, you know, but except you're just opening and running your own businesses. There was two ways you could have run your own business. You could have purchased a community lot, or you could start a home business. The home business was a bit annoying sometimes because you could like build a plot, like a building out the back in your back garden and sell whatever in it. But if you didn't lock the front doors of your house for my household only or my sim only, you could just have random people going into your house and eating and making a mess. And it used to really irritate me because I used to have my sim work all crazy hours trying to make a bit of money, trying to build up the business perks. Yeah, but buying your own community lot was probably the best and the favorite way of kind of like understanding like, oh my god, this business has cost like 60,000 to buy. We're going to be broke when I buy it. Might make a few improvements. I love the little like banner thing when I had like day to day, like was I up money, was I down money, and then eventually having a greater profit. I really liked the, not sort of like, they weren't skills, they were badges. So you had like the robot making badge, which I'll get back onto in a minute. The toy making badge. Oh, there were so many other ones. The hairdressing one, the cashier one, restocking. Pretty sure I'm leaving out a few. That was the majority of them. And you could level these up from bronze, silver, and gold. Now, gold you'd be able to like make. You'd be better, obviously, at that kind of, I don't know what you call them, skills or hobbies. They weren't really hobbies, but they were major for the game. The robot making one, if you had the gold medal on it, you could make servos which came in The Sims 1, and you could actually control these servos, and this was so cool as well, because eventually I got to a point when I was playing it that I got bored of my Sims. I was like, you know what, it's time for a robot army. So you could have Servo and Mrs. Servo. Mrs. Servo was basically Servo with pink lips and little bow on her antenna. And Servo was just great because he kind of inherited traits from the sim who created him, and I think I'm right in saying this, it did give some skill points towards the servo that was created, I think. But like any other, like with servo, you could actually build up his skills, his cooking, his cleaning, his body, which made no sense, his mechanical, all of that. You could also have him have the different types of medals for businesses and stuff like that. So usually I would open a business up with a sim, and I could have Servo going around like restocking, and sales was obviously the sales one, that was a big one. Sales or being a cashier kind of made it freed up a little bit of time with my other sim. But with your own business, you could have hired employees too, and some employees also came with having a medal system. So if you wanted, say you opened up a hairdressers and you could look for a sim who had the hairdressers, the hair and makeup one, you would need it, because starting off a sim with not that skill was bad for your business. You'd have customers giving out or looking terrible, and it was just great. But what I really, really liked about this game was there was so many different ways of playing it. You know, you could have a restaurant, you could have a toy shop, you could just sell cars, you could sell like just appliances and furniture shops. Like, it's just so creative. You could just get so creative with it. Eventually, what I really, really liked doing was starting from the bottom and say working on the toy making one and open up a toy shop, open up a restaurant, open up, because you could own multiple businesses, open up a furniture shop. And then eventually I'd get to this stage where I'd sell all of them, I'd buy a big plot of land, and I'd build like a shopping mall, you know? and I would have everything stacked in there, like maybe on 4 floors, 3 floors, kind of a thing. Have like the hairdressers downstairs, a fancy like main lobby area in each place. Game shops, because you could just normally just sell games anyways. The really annoying part was I had to just have like 1 or 2 cashiers like on the bottom floor, and just have like shops up on the top floors. But that was like, when you met it. Now, this is why, getting back to The Sims 2 Nightlife, obviously that brought in the nightclub scene into the game. Does anyone like remember like Club Inferno and Blue Water Village in the Open for Business? I used to love getting Malcolm Landgrab to sell it and getting my sim to buy it, improving it and opening up the nightclub again. And I'd make a bomb of money from it. Like, because Sims would just get, like, you'd have the little thing at the door where they pay in to get into the business. You like charge like $1. Sims really like that. And then you go around and have like different activities going on, and it was just fantastic. And that's why I have to put The Sims 2 Nightlife up there in the best tier, because these worked really, really, really hand in hand. They work together really well. Now, The Sims 2 Pets. Big step up from The Sims Unleashed. My favorite, like, starting off, like, my favorite thing is that the skills that you could have for your pets. So they could sit. You could teach them how to sit, lie down, roll over. Sing was a weird one. That was like one of the last ones, I think. Shake hands, shake paws, whatever. And that was really interesting. And I love The Sims 2 Pets so much that I had it on my PSP, my Game Boy, PS2. You could, the PS2 versions, like the PlayStation versions, a little bit different. There's certain cool things about it that I really liked. But you could enter your pets into tournaments, and I think it was just a really, really great expansion pack, especially compared to The Sims Unleashed, because pets kind of felt more real in the game. Then again, everything did in The Sims 2. The Sims 2 Pets brought in the show business career, the security career. It also brought in the werewolves NPCs, which were good. I didn't really kind of care for them. It brought in, obviously, like animal control LPCs, officers, obedience trainers, wolves and skunks, and the new life states, which, by the way, I just remembered that I think I said Servo was an NPC. He obviously could control Servo, so he wasn't an NPC. But you could have werewolves in this one. Didn't really get into the whole werewolf scene, really, to be honest with you. The Sims 2 Pets is a nice add-on. It's always nice, like, eventually after, in the Sims game, having a pet. But they were hard work sometimes. But I do think, like, because I've played it so much, it has to be a best tier. Okay, so the next 4 expansion packs kind of gets a little bit weird. The Sims 2 Seasons, which was a huge update for the Sims franchise as a whole, really. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It brought in seasons into the game. Wow! It brought in one of my favourite hobbies in real life, fishing. And it reintroduced gardening and more talent badges, which were the skill badges I was talking about. I didn't really get too much into The Sims 2 Seasons. I didn't really... It was... Not that it was a strange one. I always liked the seasons, though. I like the change of the seasons. Your Sims would wear thicker clothes or more clothes in the wintertime compared to other times of the year. I really like the fishing and the gardening in this game. Not only that, there was the gamer career came into this, and that was fun, because being a gamer and like getting a gamer job in a Sims game is like, wow, now there's 2 of me doing the same thing, which was pretty cool. It also brought in journalism, I think, into this one, so there was a cool few new careers that actually came into this game mode. But I think it is groundbreaking, a really good expansion pack, because it brought more. But it set the way for the Sims future games. We needed seasons. I do personally think, though, I didn't think the Sims 4... I thought the Sims 4 should have launched with seasons pre-installed. It doesn't make sense to sell it differently, but that's for another video. So, I put it in good. I just... See, these 4 up here were the main ones I always played. So we get on to The Sims 2 Bon Voyage, which was the holiday Sims 2 expansion pack compared to The Sims 1, which was on vacation, or on holiday. And it came with another 3 new neighborhoods in this one, which was great, kind of all different kind of themes, like the tiki place. Was there like a volcano place? Or am I imagining that? I remember 3 lakes. But like you're typically, imagine the NPCs you'd get in this. You got like pirates and like fire dancers and all of that. But it's a good expansion pack, and I kind of give away its position there because I thought something just didn't feel right about it, you know? The thing about it is, I remember clearly when you'd go on your computer and like you want to go on a holiday, you'd pick a resort, you'd go to the resort. I remember the bellhop thing. And yeah, that was all like well and good and all that. Eventually it just kind of like got boring at the time. I don't know. I felt like we had so much to do with our Sims already. In terms of fun and adventure and stuff. Like, it's nice to get away and kind of like not live the normal like Sims life. But it felt flat somewhere. Now, there's some cool objects in this Sims 2 Bon Voyage that did bring into, you could use an open for business, which is a big plus for me, which always will be a big plus for me. But I don't know. I think like, didn't like Bigfoot come into this as one of the life states? And I never really got into the Bigfoot thing either. One cool thing though I remember was you were able to purchase resorts, or I could be thinking of the Sims 3 there, but it's not bad, and it's definitely not okay. It's better than okay, so it's good. The Sims 2 Free Time introduced kind of like things to the game. It just expanded onto what your Sims could do, like more hobbies and different things like that, and really improve on their interests. The car thing was one of my favorite yokes. You know, like doing up the car from scratch. That was fun. There was a few interesting jobs from this game. Architecture became a career in this one, and that was also like, it's like kind of like cool. You're like, you have a Sim that's an architecture, and you're playing the Sims and building their house and all that. The intelligence line work, pretty good. It also brought in again more new talent badges, which are also good like for your businesses, of course. But this was just kind of like a hobby thing. It didn't really blow me away. Great items in the game. There are some great build buy items in it. Kind of like for your past, for your Sims to do in the pastime or whatever, and that's all fair enough. But I never really got any excitement out of, too much excitement out of it. I did get excitement out of it, but the novelty ran out for me pretty quick. So I'd say it would be an A tier game. Now, The Sims 2 Apartment Life. Now, this one I thought was a pretty weird way to finish the Sims 2 expansion pack line. I'm not saying it's a bad game, because it is pretty interesting. Basically, you could own your own apartment. You know, you could move out of the suburbs area in the neighborhoods and move into apartments, kind of like the dorm system in the Sims 2 University. You could live with roommates. You could do different things. There was some of the apartments, I'm not gonna lie, were pretty cool. You could have like, there was like different styles, like really modern looking ones, or kind of really like rustic old kind of apartment looking ones. But the thing that put me off about it was I didn't play it that much because I just didn't feel like it didn't bring much into the game. You know, we did the whole like living with other people in the Sims 2 University. I felt what they should have done is they should have brought this expansion pack out earlier. Like, you know, because you went through all these different expansion packs: University, Nightlife, Open for Business, Free Time with having hobbies, Seasons with going away on holidays, or Bon Voyage going away with holidays, and Seasons and Pets is a little bit different. Like, this was just like, oh, you got all the cool stuff to do with your Sim that you have for a long time now. Here, move them into a new apartment. And I'd be like, why would I want to move my Sim into an apartment when I've gone through all these different expansion packs, built up all my skills, built up all my talent badges, and built the house of my dreams? Now you're asking me to sell it and live in an apartment and have other Sims next door to me annoy me and keep my Sim awake. It just didn't make sense to me. It was a waste of time. It is a good expansion pack, but I just think that flaw that it had that it came out, it was the last expansion pack. Why would you be bothered playing it? You know, the witchcraft system came into it. There was a reputation system that came into it, like, you know, being kind of like well known around other Sims. But I wasn't bothered playing it, so I I have to say it was just okay. And it is what it is, but that's where I gotta leave it. I think they also kind of panicked with that expansion pack as well, because on one side of it you have the whole apartment life to it, and on the second side you have like the whole like supernatural witchcraft thing to it, because there was actually 2 neighborhoods that came in this expansion pack there. The secret one was like the Magic Town area, and it kind of felt a bit weird, like they were intermingled with each other. I mean, you know, you could have made apartment life like a stuff pack, but whatever, it is what it is. But I just have to put it as okay. Maybe in a few years I'd change my mind, and you know, you could play The Sims 2 in a very different way now, but I just think they should have brought it out way earlier in the expansion pack line. But anyways, guys, that is it for my Sims 2 tier list. I'm leaving the link in the description below. You can click on it, work your way around on it yourself, and tweet at me, as you can see down there, at Peter Klein Jr. I like seeing other people's opinions and seeing, can we get a match together. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time for Sims 3 expansion pack list. So until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys next time.